United States. Abraham Lincoln, the life of America's 16th president. Early life, 1809 to 1830. Humble beginnings. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in a small one-room log cabin on Sinking Spring Farm in Hardin County, Kentucky, now LaRue County. His parents, Thomas Lincoln and Nancy Hanks Lincoln, were poor farmers who worked hard to make a living. Lincoln grew up in a simple environment, no luxuries, little schooling, and a lot of hard labor. In 1816, his family moved to Indiana, and later to Illinois, seeking better opportunities. His mother died when he was only 9 years old, which deeply affected him. His father remarried a kind woman named Sarah Bush Johnston, who encouraged young Abe's love for reading. Lincoln had less than 1 year of formal education, but he was a passionate self-learner. He borrowed books from neighbors and read everything he could find: the Bible, Aesop's fables, Shakespeare, and law books. He used to read by the light of the fireplace late at night after finishing his farm chores. Early adulthood, from laborer to lawyer. As a teenager, Lincoln worked on farms, split wood for fences, and helped support his family. In 1831, he left home to seek his fortune and eventually settled in New Salem, Illinois. There, he worked as a store clerk, postmaster, and surveyor. Lincoln's honesty and fairness earned him the nickname Honest Abe. He became known for settling disputes peacefully and helping others with advice and stories. His strong moral character made him popular among the townspeople. In 1832, he ran for the Illinois state legislature for the first time but lost. However, he didn't give up. 2 years later, he ran again and won, serving several terms as a member of the Whig Party. Around the same time, he began studying law, entirely on his own, and was admitted to the Illinois bar in 1836. By the 1840s, Lincoln had become a successful lawyer in Springfield, Illinois, known for his sharp reasoning, integrity, and ability to connect with juries. He argued many cases before the Illinois Supreme Court and even some before the U.S. Supreme Court. Family life. In 1842, Lincoln married Mary Todd, a well-educated woman from a wealthy Kentucky family. They had 4 sons: Robert, Edward, William, Willie, and Thomas, Tad. Sadly, only Robert lived to adulthood. The loss of his children deeply saddened Lincoln and shaped his gentle, melancholic nature. Political career and opposition to slavery. Lincoln served a single term in the U.S. House of Representatives, 1847 to 1849. He opposed the Mexican-American War and criticized the spread of slavery into new territories, an unpopular position at the time. After his term, Lincoln returned to law for several years. But the passage of the Kansas-Nebraska Act, 1854, which allowed new states to decide whether to permit slavery, brought him back into politics. He strongly opposed the expansion of slavery, believing it was morally wrong and dangerous to the unity of the country. He helped form the new Republican Party and gained national attention through his debates with Senator Stephen A. Douglas during the Illinois Senate race of 1858. Though Lincoln lost that election, his eloquence and powerful arguments against slavery made him a national figure. Presidency, 1861 to 1865, leading through Civil War. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln was elected the 16th President of the United States. His victory shocked the southern slaveholding states, which feared he would abolish slavery completely. Even before he took office, 7 southern states seceded, left the Union and formed the Confederate States of America. The Civil War began in April 1861 when Confederate forces attacked Fort Sumter. Lincoln faced the enormous challenge of keeping the Union together. His leadership was tested as the nation divided between North, Union, and South, Confederacy. The Emancipation Proclamation. Lincoln's most famous act came on January 1, 1863, when he issued the Emancipation Proclamation. This historic document freed all enslaved people in Confederate states and transformed the war's purpose, from merely preserving the Union to fighting for human freedom. He once said, "If slavery is not wrong, nothing is wrong." Though the Emancipation Proclamation didn't end slavery immediately, it laid the groundwork for the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery throughout the United States in 1865. The Gettysburg Address. On November 19, 1863, after a bloody battle in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, Lincoln delivered one of the most famous speeches in world history, the Gettysburg Address. In just 272 words, he honored the soldiers who had died and reminded Americans of their shared ideals. Government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. This speech remains a timeless symbol of democracy and equality. Assassination and death. After 4 years of brutal war, the Union finally defeated the Confederacy in April 1865. Lincoln hoped for a peaceful reconstruction of the South. However, just days later, on April 14, 1865, while watching a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., he was shot by John Wilkes Booth, a Confederate sympathizer. Lincoln died the next morning, April 15, 1865, at the age of 56. The entire nation mourned deeply. Millions attended his funeral processions as his body was taken by train to Springfield, Illinois, for burial. Legacy. Abraham Lincoln is remembered as one of the greatest leaders in history. He guided the United States through its most difficult crisis, ended slavery, preserved the Union, and inspired generations around the world with his compassion, humility, and belief in equality. Statues, memorials, and his image on the penny and $5 bill continue to honor him. The Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., stands as a lasting tribute to his vision of freedom and democracy. Famous quotes by Abraham Lincoln. Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves. My concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right. Whatever you are, be a good one.